Hello and welcome to another episode of Satisfactory. And there has been an update to Satisfactory since the last recording that I did, as well as I did a live stream where I got some train stuff set up, as you can see going along in the background. So let's catch up on all of that information and then start building some stuff. God. There's a flame jet right beside me. I did not know that that was there when I started recording. Okay, so first off, there is the fluids update, which is very good to have, as it's actually going to improve the amount of oil that is on the map. And I think that is the most important thing about it. So the fluids update manages a few things to do with fluids. We've got inner production, the refinery, now loses the ability to do any unpacking and repacking of liquids. So before, you could pack your fuel and all your different things and your water and such, and it would be just using this. Like, you would have to use a whole refinery just to pack water. Now the only thing that this can pack is alternative recipe diluted package fuel. But that's because it turns heavy oil residue into fuel. So it's actually changing the product. But now everything that is just taking a raw resource and turning it into the packaged form is done through the packager. So what this guy does is he does all of your normal packaging. Your packaged water, your packaged oil, your packaged fuel, all that kind of stuff. Where it takes a raw resource in and then outputs the packaged version of that raw resource, or the vice versa. It takes the packaged version and unpacks it into the liquid resource. So that's the key thing. This one does it if there is no change in material, where the one recipe this one still has is where there's a change in material from heavy oil residue into diluted packaged fuel. But that is awesome. So that means that you can have your big complex production lines for oil, which I haven't really gotten into yet, because I was mainly knowing this was coming and wanted to wait for it, because it would make life a lot easier. Instead of having to have that refinery, which does have an awesome new model to it, we could instead have these packagers, which are like one foundation size. So a lot of savings in the amount of space that will be required in order to make them. So that is excellent. To go along with that, just get rid of those, they have also upgraded in the logistics. We have Pipelines Mark II, which allows 600 fluid per minute, and Pipeline Pump Mark II, which have 50 meters of head lift instead of 20 meters of head lift. They've also done some other little improvements, like if you have the pump on a pipe like this, you can see that blue thing that is emanating out. It's showing you how far the head lift is going to go. So if you had a vertical pipe, you can easily see where it is. And if I'm not mistaken, they have these that like snap to head lift, right? It's probably just going to keep going because there is no head lift. This is a flat pipe. But if I'm not mistaken, they also, when you're going vertically, they'll have it so that they'll automatically snap to the head lift, so it's at the exact right height that you need it to be to add, so you're not adding too many pumps. It is exactly the amount that you need. So yeah, all those are absolutely wonderful options. They also did the jump pad, that's not transportation, where you can now aim it, and when you place it, you can change the angle, and so you can very easily create sort of like multiple jump pads that you can then bounce between, and you can aim it so you can very specifically, I want to get on top of that building. If I put down a jump pad, I can aim it at the building, and then I can aim it for right on the edge, and then if I power this, I can pop on this pad, and it should plop me right where the angle said it was going to land. So, very much more accurate, much better part of the jump pads. Can't remember if there's anything else. There's probably some other little tweaks that I'm not thinking about, but that is pretty much the update. So, because of that, I want to start really reworking my oil and fuel production lines. So, currently, down over there in the far distance on the map, right around here, I have my current oil production lines, where I just did the basic recipes, where I went and took a refinery and just went like oil to plastic, oil to rubber, take that that residue that's made and make it into petroleum coke, and then burn the petroleum coke. Later on, I then use the petroleum coke along with the whole aluminum work line, because it needs a little bit of that for here, and I made aluminum with it. So it's this extremely basic, like straightforward oil production line down there. But now that I'm moving into sort of like towards the end game, I've got everything unlocked. I have a base that is producing every single resource. So essentially, I have everything I need to build as much as I want now. I can just build and start making big projects. I can start working on making more complex production lines. One of those is going to be the refinery, and it's going to do the full rigmarole of, we're going to go alternate with heavy oil residue to then make diluted packaged fuel, to unpack the fuel, to then make turbo fuel, and do the whole like doubling of fuel that way. There's also there's residual rubber and plastic from the polymer resin. There's somewhere in here, there's also a recipe. I'm not sure if I have them unlocked. I might have to go on a big hard drive hunt on a live stream or something in order to get them all unlocked. But there is the alternate recipes that take, like, to make rubber, you use a bit of plastic and some fuel to then make lots more rubber. And then the vice versa. To make plastic, you take a little bit of rubber and a bunch of fuel, and you make a lot of plastic. I don't think I have those recipes unlocked yet. But when I do get them unlocked, then I will be able to make them. And I can set up big production lines with those, making a lot of plastic, a lot of rubber, and a lot of aluminum in this area. And those are my main three big oil products. As such, we have our gasoline alley train station and our train, which I set up in the live stream. 2 cars with 6 freight cars on it. And that will be all of the resources that I will need from this oil area. So we'll have basically 2 plastic, 2 oil, 2 plastic, 2 rubber, 2 aluminum freight cars, and that will be taken back to our mega base that'll be in the desert, probably. I'm having some second thoughts of whether or not I want to put it in the desert, or if I just want to make a mega base that is like right in the middle of the map, but just up in the sky. Right now, that train is just, I was just playing around with it, and it's just going to a train station in the grasslands, just back and forth, so that I can experiment. But what we need to set up is, obviously we've got some space here. We need to reroute these pipelines eventually. We still want them to keep going, but I'll probably pick them up and replace them on my new grid that I have here, instead of the grid that is slightly off kilter as it is now. And yeah. Oh, the other really important thing that happened in this update is, because we have pipelines that can now hold 600 per minute, not only is that just going to be a little bit more efficient, like I can go back out to this, I have this coal production here for some power that uses the water, and it has, you know, so many junctions and everything's connected, I could just literally connect them all and just make them all 600, and it would be easier and less work than having to balance everything under 300 units. It also means that there is literally just more oil on the map. Because previously, what would happen is something like this oil extractor here, you could not overclock it this much. This is a pure node with an oil extractor. And normally, we could only get 300, which would be 125% clock speed. I believe this one over here is a normal node, like an average node. Yes, crude oil normal. And this one you do need to fully overclock it, 250%. That makes one pipeline worth of oil at full overclock. Where this guy, you just, previously, all the extra overclocking was just useless because, you know, he just needed 300. That's all he could output, because that was the limit for the belts. It's like a pure node with a Mark III extractor, I believe, that is also limited by the fact that we just have Mark V belts. We don't have Mark VI belts yet. It could produce more than you could actively extract from it. But with 600 per minute, that means that we can put this up to 600, and now we actually have 2 pipelines worth coming out of this. So every single pure node on the map, and I think there was like 4 or 6 of them or something along those lines. I might be mistaken. I have to go check the map, but that's more oil. So instead of this area having essentially 4 pipelines worth, it now has 6 pipelines worth, because this is a pure, and I believe that one back there is a pure as well. Let's go check it out. This one here. Yeah, this one's a pure as well. So this one's giving me 600 a minute. So I need to upgrade this Mark I pipe eventually to a Mark II pipe, and then I can take that Mark II and split it into 2 Mark I pipes. So what that means is that I have 6 pipelines worth of materials to work with here. So I can use essentially 600 per minute for plastic, 600 per minute for fuel. For rubber, 600 per minute for aluminum. And I can have all those resources, and it'll be absolutely wonderful. Oh, it's so exciting. But in case you're wondering why I'm being able to move so quickly and easily, I have installed 3 mods. And these are not, well, you could call them game breaking or whatever, but they're entirely for my ease of use of the game and my ability to build stuff and just make videos without much effort. Number 1 is the exosuit, which gives me the ability to have my jetpack and my Blade Runners at the same time, just so that I can, you know, move quickly, jump high, and jetpack without having to swap back and forth, which gives just ultimate mobility and helps me out with building. The other is to remove all fall damage, so that I can quite literally just shoot myself out of my linear accelerator cannons and get across the map real quickly and not worry about smucking into the ground if I run out of fuel or something like that. That's just a quality of life, so that if I... Oh god, what did I do up here? If I, you know, am doing a video midway and I die, and then I don't have to go, oh god, I gotta, you know, rewind the video and fix it up. I don't want to show that I'm just dying randomly, you know, that sort of thing. And the last one is that I added plus 100 inventory slots so that I can just carry absolutely everything. So if I want to, I can just build and build and build all episode and not have to worry about ever running out of materials. So I can just keep building and keep working and keep the video going. And it just helps with flow. So those are the 3 mods I'm adding. Nothing that is like cheaty, just makes my life easier. But with all of that said, I've done a lot of work on the rail line. As you can see, it actually continues out past over there. It goes into the northern beach here, comes along, goes through here, comes along the northern ocean, and actually comes through this little gap here, comes behind the edge of the desert, comes back down around, and has ended up here. There's also a bypass that goes through here, sneaks through these mountains, and hooks back up to that. And I'm almost got it so that on this end it comes down here, and I'm just about to hook this way and start heading this way to come over top of the swamp area and then hook into this over here. Almost got it to where I've got a circle path through the entire world. So then that way I can set up my various stations. Like here we've got Gasoline Alley, here we've got the grasslands. I gotta think of a better name for the grasslands. But then we'll have like a station here in this, whatever this place will be called, a station here in the marsh, station in the desert, station at the Northern Oil, station here in the beach, probably a station up here in the highlands, because there's a bunch of coal here. It'd be a great place to make, say, compacted coal and other stuff that I need for nuclear. And then I'll probably have like a nuclear train that'll be going back and forth from somewhere. I've seen several people build like their nuclear power plant on this waterfall here. I think that might look kind of cool. But I'm also, the nuclear is in caves and stuff in this area. So I'm thinking just like right up here, or yeah, out on the water. There's an island right here. Maybe I can build like a nuclear island out there that's out in the middle of nowhere. And that way I can just set it up and then just have a train ship the nuclear material to it, and then everything is processed there. I just have trains servicing it instead of me having to go out there. So I think that'll work. But in the meantime, we should set up some more of our oil production here. One of the things I want to do is I'd like to design my future stuff here in a way that actually looks good. So my current setup, see if we can see it, a bit of it from here if we stand on top of this rock. Come on. I missed it. Nope. And there we go. I can go into the spectator sort of camera to take screenshots. You can see my current production lineup of everything is really just stuff on a platform. I advise you to harvest this specimen. Oh, fine, I will. It's just stuff on a platform. It's not very well designed. It is entirely utilitarian, and that's it. What I'd like to do is all of my future setups, I would like to make them more utility, more actual look like a place that you could conceivably go as a person. You know what I mean? So the first example of that would be this little warehouse. And I'm trying to design the interior such that you can actually walk through the center of it. You have all this storage on the right side, and you have a bunch of piping and stuff on the left side, and it all works out. So I had a setup, but I'm trying this other setup here. We've got the 3 storage containers that are all piped up into each other, right beside each other. Those storage containers are draining into the freight platforms, which if the train comes along and there's stuff in here, it'll actually pick up. Right now it's just sort of driving through. But then this way, as we are producing stuff, we are making a whole bunch of things. They are then coming into this building through those input spots there. And they are being distributed up through the building and put into these containers such that we have a big buffer. That way, if this thing is ever empty after the train picks it up, it is going to get refilled really quickly before the train comes back, because we'll have auto-saving. There we go. We'll have two Mark V lines going into the freight platform, and it's going to fill it up lickety-split. Because if I put, say, like some wires in there, we can see them just ripping into it real quick. And I am going to get those out and get those out before the train takes off with my wires. So that it'll refill that real quick, which is what we want. So I'm thinking this setup here, in which case I want out on that side, and then flip it, and then like so, flip it, so then it builds up, and it's going to look like this. Those are through there, and we've got these sort of weaving back and forth right beside each other, nicely filling up all that space. Now I could go even further and put like another couple of these back before I reach sort of my distribution and sorters, my splitters I mean, but I'm thinking I kind of want to be able to walk through these places. I'd like it so that there would be like catwalks and, you know, stuff like that. So if the inputs are going to be right here, I could align that. Let's see. The first two, this one and this one, are the inputs for the first line. So I had set these up so that they aligned with the hole previously, but I don't think that's going to work anymore. So we can get rid of that. I want to keep my wall. Because now I need them to align up here, right? And I want to be able to say walk under these. I could set it up so I walk over them, because that's always an option. There is the ability for me to make a little ramp and create a little walkway. Oh god, this is finicky. There. Or I want it to be right up against the containers. Let's go right up against the containers. Because if I make a ramp up and I then continue that walkway straight, this would sort of give me access, and I can even pull this ramp back one if I wanted to. Yeah, a ramp up here, and then a walkway straight, so I can walk along the containers, and I could look over at the stuff. I could have a belt coming over top of me, like that, and I can walk underneath it. And I think I can have a belt coming underneath me, and I could have resources come through there. Although that would... resources are going to clip. They're just kind of annoying. See, this is the problem when you start, you know, designing stuff to look good instead of just function, is that you have to start actually making things look good. Aesthetics becomes an actual issue. Alternatively, I could... How sloped can I make this? I could bring this down, because this one is going to just come out like this. And that's just as low as that's going to get. But this one I could bring out, and I could do on a single stackable pole here. Because this height is actually higher than a single stackable pole. So I could bring that actually down a little bit. As it comes into here, I could bring this down and then bring it back up to go into there. So then that would allow me to ramp above it. How high can I ramp in this building? And I can always raise the roof if I need to. I could make the roof higher, because I could make this walkway at like the very, very top. Alternatively, I could make the belts come in higher, and I could walk underneath them. But I kind of like the feeling of a walkway. It makes me feel good to have a walkway there. I could also, if I wanted to be silly, I can bring these both down to ground level here. So this one could make a right turn there. And this guy could make a turn and come down to here and just be ground level as well. And I just have two belts going into it like that. That could work. And then it would be really easy for me to just go up 2 with my ramps and go over them. I just have to make sure that, you know, those belts line up, and then they would go back into their sorters like that, and then the ramp would go through the middle. It's kind of silly having them going down and then back up, but it's I want to be able to walk through here and like inspect it and have access to it. Because I can't really go further down because there's water there. I suppose. Oh, I suppose I could actually do that. I could do foundations, like a half-size foundation, right? Can't I place that along the bottom? Down below? I wonder. Nah, probably too much work. I can also just raise this roof so I have a bit more space above, and then just have my walkways above everything instead. It wouldn't be that difficult to raise the roof up. I mean, it is not that big of a warehouse that it is currently. But for now, we do just need to get these things lined up here. There we go. And get these belts built. You guys going there. And we'll have all the storage for our future endeavors. And that side is all plugged in, and that side is all plugged in. So that gives me three double storage containers for each line, which then is 6 storage containers for each resource type that we'll have coming out of this factory, which is probably way more than enough. Way more than enough that I'll ever need. But there is the possibility that I will need more because I will have, you know, a certain amount of resources that I need to get processed out of here, and I'll need to have multiple trains picking up stuff. So let's experiment down on this end. So we got the conveyor belts. We can bring this guy out directly. And how about we go up? Let's see what that looks like. So this guy will make his right turn and go to there. Just line up with that piece there. Then we're going to want to have some logistics and a stackable conveyor pole. And stack this up a couple times to make this guy be able to turn his right turn. And then I can go... How much can I get you to go up? Can I get you to go up there? No, it's too steep. How far does this need to be out for you to go up? That doesn't work. Next one doesn't work. That one does work. Right there. That's the closest I can get with you ticking up. So then if I connected these guys like that, I could theoretically, because there is just enough space above there, I could instead take you up to this top one. And you could go along the ceiling. That would be okay. And you... I don't think you're going to be able to go to that one. No, it's too steep. I'll have to move it on out again. But then I could have room to walk underneath. Because in my main factory, I never used this bottom rung here. I always used the second one up as my lowest. Alright, let's see where I can connect this to. Not to there, not to there. 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 That's the lowest I can get. Not this stack, that stack, that stack, this stack, and that one. So that is the lowest that I can get that up there. That can connect to there. And that gives me those two belts as high as possible, with the resources sort of scraping along the ceiling, but that is okay. They don't care. Then I want to take that stackable, and we're going to come back this direction. And I want to line it centered on this line, and then take it from where it is and go tick, tick. So it's going to be right on here. Boom, boom, boom. And that's going to make a nice right corner for these belts going in there. Oh, I think that's going to be good. Yeah, I think that works out nicely. So we just need the poles. There are 1, 2, 3 ticks in from the edge here. And 1 tick off from there. So right there and right there. 2, 3. And then that should be that to there and that to there. Yeah, I think that looks good. So then I'm going to have splitters right here. So my splitters are going to be stacked up. Splitter in line there. And we need a splitters all the way up to the ceiling pretty much. Oh, no, wait. Oh, these are all smart splitters. I don't need smart splitters. I just need regular splitters. There we go. And the 2 bottom ones can go away. The top one is kind of sunk into the ceiling, but that is okie doke for me. I can raise the ceiling if required. I can raise the roof. But then these guys come in, make their 90-degree turn, and then how many do I need out in order for these guys to get up to their level, I'd wonder. Because you need to get up to that level, the bottom one does at least. So you need to get to up there. Let me just stand right here. There. That's the fastest you can get to that level. And so the top one should easily be able to get up to its level because it just has to raise 1. Click. There we go. Learning all these limits of their distance here. Although I think I needed the 2 that were there. Doot and doot, because that one was connected to it. Just leave it there to make it look good. Excellent. And then this belt goes into there. That belt goes into there. And now we have our resources being flowed into our storage over top of everything here, so we can walk around and we can see all the belts and how they're doing. So then we just gotta continue this out. We're right here. And aligned that way. Wonderful. Alright. So then these are just... why are these smart splitters? Why the hell did I put smart splitters everywhere? This is not my intent. I do not need smart splitters. I just need normal splitters. At least I'm fixing everything up right now. There we go. So then these guys are the center line here. So they will come to... interestingly, they are going to be here and here. Because before, it was I needed to go over to this direction in order to go into this hole. I needed to come to this side, but no longer do I need to come to that side. Because my containers are all biased towards the left side of the hole that they are exporting to, and their input is biased even further left from there. So, I need this to do here and here. So I need this to turn, and then I want the splitter to be in line right here. So we need to turn and raise this real quickly. Real quickly, actually. Might need to jog this back a little bit to get it into this this spot here. Okay, let's figure this out. So this side is all good. These splitters are splitting these stuff off, and they are getting filled up in these canisters to then getting out exported. That's fine. So then these splitters should be aligned essentially right here. And we want an input from this side. And we want them to be, let's see, high as possible. The belt can immediately start rising though, right? We can just go up, up, up right away. So if I align myself and just do the 2 clicks back in order to make a right angle turn, let's see how high I can get my belt ASAP. It can go there. It can go there. Excellent. It can go right up to there. And then you can just make a right angle turn into there. You can go up to there. Excellent. Then this belt will go directly in, essentially, to our stackable conveyor poles, which we'll set up right here. 3 back. Right there. Good. 2, 3. You go to there. You go to there. And in. Wonderful. And then you guys just need to have a 90-degree turner, which will line up with here, and 2 ticks back, tick, tick, there, 3 tall, and go into there. Excellent. So now that is the next set of things. And then last one will be easy peasy. We've already done this a few times. We just need to set up our 1, 2, 3, and right here. Tick back. Aligned. 2, 3, and then just run our lines. And we'll have mass storage. These are how many ticks over? 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's the fastest we can get you up to that level. Which, unfortunately it doesn't line up very nicely. Oh, so many troublesome bits and bobs. Because this is making its right angle immediately after entering. And then it's raising up. We may need to have this be a little bit of screwed aroundness. Oh, a little bit of autosave freeze. That is okay. Let's just see. If I connect that up to there, does that bother me? It is a little bit going backwards, but I think I can live with it. Because we're going to do, instead of having these conveyor poles here, we'll do our splitters in this area right away. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I wonder if it'll work in 5. I don't think it will. I don't think this... No, it needs to be 6 over. It does not like it if it is not 6 over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Alright. No, there's a line up here. There. Does this work? Because this is still one further than it was last time. Yeah, now that works. And then this can just go into there. And it's a little bit of a jog back to it. It's not perfectly straight, but that is fine. It's all good. Line up with here. Line up with there. Go 1, 2 ticks over. And connect up our belts. Not everything will be at a perfect right angles, but there we go. We have a warehouse with plenty of storage room in it. Plenty of space, actually, where we can put a little bit more. We can put down, say, a craft bench. Why not? We've got a MAM here. We've got everything we need. Excellent. And all of our resources will be coming in and being distributed out to their various storage containers. We'll be able to store thousands upon thousands of resources waiting our trains to arrive. So, a simple little warehouse. A little bit of belt organization today. I think the next episode, I have plans. We're going to lay out a very large scale oil production. And it is going to be very large scale. We're going to be using all of the oil that we have available in this area. It's 6 times 300. So 6 times 3 would be 18, so it would be 1,800 oil per minute. Yes, I can do math correctly. I can't afford, oh no. And we'll just be able to make so much stuff. And it will be great. But that is going to be it for this episode. More of just a little bit of a building, but a lot of the update and my plans for the future as I use my exosuit to yeet myself back to base to get more resources. But that's going to be it for now. Thanks for watching. And good building out there. Fed up by it is.